Hey gamers! If you're into Souls-like games, then yeah, you've come to the right place. Today, I'm gonna show you my picks for the top 25 Souls-like games of all time 2025 edition that you should play. Now, I know some of you might disagree with my picks, and honestly, that's okay. We all have our own favorites. But if you're down for a good challenge and some unforgettable moments, this list is gonna hit the spot. Before we go into the list, I want to tell you about my favorite place to buy games, and that's Instant Gaming. Instant Gaming is an awesome site for grabbing games at great prices. Not only they always have fantastic discounts, but also they running giveaways you won't want to miss. Seriously, these deals are hard to beat. Where else are you gonna find prices this good? Why pay full price when you can grab the same game for way less, right? Yeah, you can shop for games on all kinds of platforms, like PC, PS5, Xbox, and the Nintendo Switch. No worries, it's 100% legit, fast, and super easy to use, and their support team is available 24/7. So what are you waiting for? Go check out your favorite games by using the link in the description below and start saving your cash with Instant Gaming. And by using my link, you're not just getting awesome deals, but also supporting this channel. Alright then, let's get back into the list. Mortal Shell doesn't try to be a full-on Dark Souls rival, and that's a good thing. It does its own thing with focused gameplay, eerie visuals, and a simple progression system. If you're a fan of the genre, there's enough here to enjoy. And if you're new to Souls-likes, this might actually be one of the most approachable starting points. The devs at Cold Symmetry made smart choices with what they had. Instead of lots of builds, you get 4 unique shells, and each one feels useful. The hardened mechanic also adds something fresh to the combat. Yeah, you gotta try. It's not perfect, but for a small team, this is an impressive and memorable game. If you've ever bounced off a Souls-like game because of its brutal punishment for failure, GRIME might just change your mind. This Souls-like Metroidvania-style action RPG keeps the challenge high but ditches one of the genre's most frustrating mechanics, losing all your hard-earned souls when you die. Yep, it's true. GRIME takes a refreshing turn by not punishing players with soul loss on death. Instead, you lose a secondary resource called a door. This acts as a multiplier that boosts how many souls you earn per kill. Honestly, if you like Souls-like that are tough but don't make you want to throw your controller, GRIME's a nice pick. If you're a Souls-like fan who also loves Star Wars, this is an easy yes. Playing as a Jedi with lightsabers and force powers is just plain fun, though it's not as deep or punishing as a From Software game. Combat in Survivor is smoother and more customizable than ever. With 5 different lightsaber stances and a variety of force powers, you can tailor Cal's fighting style to your preference. Since you can only equip 2 stances at a time, the game has to make sure any combination works in any fight. Even on higher difficulties, the challenge mostly comes from tougher enemies rather than requiring strategic adaptability.
Toss me one, BD!
Salt and Sanctuary is a great way to see what Dark Souls would look like in a 2D side-scroller. With its rich mechanics, rewarding combat, and ethereally gorgeous world, the game is more than just a Dark Souls clone. It's a tribute to tough but fair action role-playing games. The Sanctuary system, basically a 2D version of Dark Souls bonfires, is one of Salt and Sanctuary's most inventive concepts. These are places to rest, level up, and reset enemies, but they also allow you to summon NPCs like blacksmiths and merchants using totems. Yes, it heavily borrows from Software's design, but it also adds enough new ideas to feel fresh and rewarding. The Surge 2 gives exactly what sci-fi Souls-like fans are craving: tough, strategic combat with a serious bite. This sequel levels up everything from the first game, bringing heavy, satisfying fights that reward timing, patience, and yeah, a bit of savagery. Weapons all hit differently, whether you're into quick staves or slow, heavy hammers, and every fight keeps you on your toes. The game's limb targeting system isn't just a cool gimmick, it's how you actually progress. Chop off an enemy's arm to get blueprints for their gear, or take out a leg to grab parts for your build. It's a smart and brutal system that makes every battle feel like it actually matters. Enotria, the last song is a Soulslike RPG with a fresh twist, bright, colorful towns instead of the usual dark caves and swamps. It looks and feels different in a good way, combat solid and familiar, stamina based with light or heavy attacks, and a forgiving parry system that eases you in without killing the challenge later on. Boss fights range from creative and memorable, like a giant armored crab or flamboyant golden dragoon, to disappointingly repetitive reskins that reuse the same movesets. Customization runs deep with masks, roles, and perks, but it's not the most beginner-friendly and can get confusing without clear guides. Thymesia delivers a thrilling high-speed take on the Souls-like formula, blending Bloodborne's aggression with Sekiro's precise dual-focused combat. The lack of a stamina system makes every encounter feel fluid and designed around rhythm, with every enemy encounter pushing you to dodge, parry, and strike with precision. Thymesia also introduces a unique plague weapon system, letting you temporarily steal and equip enemy attacks, adding a layer of creativity and adaptability to every fight. With its flexible talent tree, you're free to tweak your build at save points, encouraging experimentation and personal playstyle development. Another crab's treasure is a Soulslike, but instead of grim knights and dark castles, you're a cartoon crab, like actually a little hermit crab with a fork for a weapon. You play as Krill, a tiny crab who just wants his stolen shell back and somehow ends up tangled in this big underwater adventure. Combat-wise, it's not the hardest Souls-like out there. If you're a From Software veteran, you probably won't sweat too much. The creativity makes up for the lack of challenge. There's this shell system where you can wear things like soda cans or tennis balls as armor, and each one gives you a different ability. AI Limit is anime Souls-like with a modern, fast-paced twist. If you love the feel of Souls-likes but want less punishment and more freedom, this might be the one for you. It's got that classic Souls-like level design, shortcuts, hidden paths, loot everywhere, no open world bloat, just tight interconnected zones. And since there's no online, you can actually pause the game. No more getting wrecked because your cat jumped on your lap. Would I recommend it? Yeah, especially if you're new to the genre or just want something a bit more chill but still stylish. Bleak Fate Forsaken is not for everyone. Yup, it's almost dreamlike games. You might find something strangely compelling here. It's honestly impressive that this whole thing was built by just 3 devs. It might not always feel polished, but you can tell there's a ton of creativity packed in here. The game also does some fun stuff with the gear, customization, and even perk system. You're constantly switching up your armor and weapons to match the fight ahead. Ultimately, the game shines in art, world building, and exploration, but stumbles heavily in combat, performance, and user experience. It's worth checking out for hardcore fans of the genre who've exhausted better alternatives. Steelrising is a French-style Souls-like game where you play as Aegis, a female robot created to be Queen Marie Antoinette's bodyguard, on a mission to find your creator and stop the chaos caused by the king. Even though the combat is Souls-like, you can jump, dash, grapple, and use over 40 cool weapons, from fans and chains to lightning claws. Yes, and of course, with the more skills you unlock, the more secrets and hidden paths you can access. Sure, it might not reach the heights of Elden Ring or Bloodborne, but Steelrising has its own charm. With its unique setting, creative mechanics, and approachable difficulty, it's more than just a Souls-like copy. Remnant II is a fantastic sequel that builds on everything great from Remnant from the Ashes. It blends looter-shooter and Souls-like elements with co-op, deep build crafting, and procedurally generated worlds for tons of replayability. Combat is smoother and more customizable, with a class system that lets you mix and unlock new ones, including hidden classes. The main story is fine, but the real magic is in the unique, ever-changing worlds and side stories. Co-op is a blast, though tougher with more players due to enemy scaling. If you enjoy Souls-likes, quests, loot, or shooting monsters with friends, Remnant II is absolutely worth it.
Not be over.
Stranger of Paradise Final Fantasy Origin is a fast-paced action RPG that's perfect for fans of Final Fantasy or intense combat. It's not your typical Final Fantasy game. It focuses on satisfying battles, flashy finishers, and a deep job system with 28 classes you can freely mix and match. While the story takes a while to fully click, the mystery kept me curious, and the payoff in the end was worth it, especially if you enjoy piecing together lore through exploration. The game also respects your time by offering tons of loot, quick mission structure, and generous flexibility in difficulty. Nine Souls is worth considering if you enjoy challenging Metroidvanias, combat akin to Sekiro, and the world building that dares to be special. Since the fight is where Nine Souls really shines, let's talk about it. With its focus on timing and flawless parries rather than bombarding attacks, a Sekiro is the closest analogy. You get rewarded for being measured, not for being aggressive, particularly with the bosses, who are among the best in the genre. Every battle feels like a duel. It is an incomparable feeling to finally see the Matrix in a boss fight, and the game continuously pushes you to grow, learn, and adapt to. Lords of the Fallen may not top Elden Ring or Bloodborne, but it's a bold, creative Souls-like worth playing. Exploration and battle are given a special depth by the dual realm system, which alternates between the living, Axiom, and the ghostly, Umbral worlds. Still, I can't lie, I had a great time. The world design is gorgeous and interconnected in all the right ways, and the sense of discovery when swapping realms kept me engaged throughout the 40+ hour co-op is fun, though held back by loading quirks and tethering, especially in New Game Plus. Still, it's a memorable and ambitious entry in the genre. Blasphemous 2 is a grotesque, yet captivating Metroidvania that combines religious horror, stunning 2D graphics, and Souls-like elements. The sequel improves on everything that worked in the first game, particularly with its new weapons and larger platforming, but it doesn't completely rewrite the formula. Exploration becomes more fluid and combat more dynamic with the addition of 3 different weapons, each of which doubles as a movement tool. Cryptic lore is told through eerie items and poetic riddles, perfect for fans of Bloodborne or Dark Souls-style storytelling. Code Vein stands out as one of the more unique Souls-like experiences, blending punishing action RPG mechanics with heavy anime aesthetics and a surprisingly emotional story. The blood code system is where the game excels. Combat becomes more tactical, and builds feel more dynamic when you can change your class at any time without facing consequences. By simply changing tactics, some bosses who seemed unmanageable became manageable, and each time, the sense of accomplishment was satisfying. You're always accompanied by an AI companion. They provide support and pressure while you concentrate on timing your attacks and dodges, which is especially useful in crowded battles.
Demonstrated your skills nicely.
Demon's Souls Remake, the PlayStation 5's launch title, is one of the best Souls-like remakes I've ever played. The game also makes you think because it's not just about dodging like crazy, you have to choose the right weapon for each enemy, which makes it a lot more fun. Furthermore, the sound design is incredible. Every slash, arrow, and creepy whisper draws you deeper in. At its core, Demon's Souls remains an intense, cerebral action RPG based on sound combat decisions, extensive character customization, and rewarding exploration, and thanks to the PS5's power, it's now faster, cleaner, and more beautiful. Wukong Fallen Dynasty, a fast-paced Souls-like game, is very approachable for those unfamiliar with the genre. Team Ninja created this dark fantasy game, which is similar to Souls and takes place in China during the Three Kingdoms period. In order to break their spirit gauge and unleash a powerful fatal strike, the player must first deflect enemy attacks. Unlike most Souls-likes, it uses a spirit system to control your offensive and defensive rhythms rather than a stamina system. This setup allows the battle to flow well and feel very smooth. Stellar Blade feels like a Souls-like hack and slash game to me. Maybe some of you won't agree, but that's honestly how it felt to me. The combat is the clear standout. Fast, fluid, and incredibly rewarding with a parry system that clicks beautifully once you find the rhythm. It's a lot like Jedi Fallen Order in that way, demanding but never overwhelming and satisfying once you get it down. Visually, the game looks fantastic. Yeah, you know what I mean, right? We're the fantastic. Yeah, with sharp environments, flashy animations, and a generally clean presentation that complements the action. After playing Black Myth Wukong myself, I totally understand why people have such different takes on it. The game really leans into its combat and boss fights, which are both challenging and rewarding. Its surprisingly long runtime is well paced, and the action rarely feels dull. The progression system is one of its strongest points, offering meaningful rewards for exploration and tons of flexibility with spells, gear, and builds. Combat feels tight and responsive, and while some bosses are better than others, the game constantly pushes you to adapt and try new strategies. Being able to switch up your build mid-fight and actually feel the impact made each victory feel earned and personal. Since From Software's Dark Souls series popularized the genre, Sekiro Shadows Die Twice is frequently referred to as a Souls-like game because of its difficult gameplay, emphasis on precise combat, and emphasis on learning enemy attack patterns. Why isn't Soulsborne? Because it lacks essential RPG components that are characteristic of the Soulsborne series, such as character customization, build variety, and stat progression. The game has pretty much exactly the same basic gameplay formula as Dark Souls. It has the fairly simple but responsive combat where you learn or react to each enemy attack, but has a few different things to it, like deflecting, the posture system, quick running, jumping, and stealth. Yeah, I know, so I put this Sekiro into Souls-like games. I've been a die-hard fan of the Nioh series since the first game, and honestly, Nioh 2 is one of the best Souls-like alternatives out there besides anything From Software makes. It throws you right into the Sengoku era of Japan, full of chaos and war, and mixes that with intense boss fights and stamina-based combat. The loot system is super addicting, gear comes in different rarities, and the higher the rarity, the better the passive effects and damage boosts. You also get soul cores from yokai, which let you use cool special abilities, and you can customize those depending on your guardian spirit. Combat feels fast, builds are deep, and there's always something new to tweak. It's not just another Souls-like, it's really amazing Souls-like. And if you're into challenge, lore, and exploration, this game's got it all. Lies of P is one of the most polished and intriguing Souls-like games to come out in recent years. It takes the classic tale of Pinocchio and twists it into a dark gothic nightmare, complete with haunting environments and surprisingly emotional storytelling. And the combat, oh man, once it clicks, it clicks. It's like Sekiro, but once I started mixing in dodges, it just felt so much smoother and way more fun. You really start to feel the rhythm of it. Boss fights are a blast, each one has its own personality and challenge, and they really make you think on your feet. All in all, if you're into Souls-likes with some killer style, Lies of P is 100% worth checking out. a newcomer in 2025, and in my opinion, the best Souls-like games are the first Berserker. Khazan is a Souls-like action RPG with a strong focus on boss battles, precise combat, and character progression. The game nails that classic Souls-like loop, but focuses on speed, mobility, and long combos. It's perfect for players who love going all-out aggressive, kinda like Devil May Cry, Sekiro, or playing as a rogue in RPGs. Personally, I would say Khazan is one of the easier Souls-like games. Sekiro much harder to master, but man, Khazan is so fucking good. If you are thinking about buying it, you should. If Sekiro is like a rhythm game, you need to learn its timing to succeed. Khazan has a bit of that, but it's more about creating your own timing and finding chances to land big combos. And for honorable mention is WUCHANG Fallen Feathers is a new Souls-like set in a magical version of dynastic China, where you play as a pirate warrior with incredible moves. Its combat stands out, offering a huge toolkit of abilities that let you soar, combo, and dominate enemies like a boss. Wielding a giant axe, you can leap sky high and smash foes flat, while dual blades let you toss sticky bombs with every dodge. The game's world is visually stunning with its gorgeous world and thrilling mechanics. This game is shaping up to be a standout in the crowded Souls-like genre. And that's it for today. Those were lists the top 25 Souls-like games of all time, 2025 edition that you should play. Got a hidden gem I didn't mention? Let me know in the comments below. And if you enjoyed this video or discovered a new title to add to your collection, feel free to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you'll never miss future content. So thank you for watching, and see you in the next video.